conclude that by also adding that we see that today we have around 318 million people globally that are experiencing some form of homelessness, which is also an important piece and of course important consideration. And these are not challenges that are only occurring, let's say, in the global south. Often these are challenges and problems that also are extremely relevant for the global north. So obviously we have a lot to do together, globally, join forces. Of course, there is no one size fits all. We need to share experience, learn from each other, and accelerate. That's probably the imperative. Acceleration for the whole SDG work that we are doing. And let me conclude this piece by also adding that we are, as UN Habitat, as the United Nations Human Settlements Program, covering human settlements in the urban but also in the rural areas. We are also coordinating the United Nations work on localizing the SDGs, which really means bringing down all the focus and the implementation to the local level and including in the important solutions that we are designing the local actors. Of course, in Kenya's case, for example, starting with the county governments, with the governors and the county administrations, but then also other local actors, including civil society, academia, and others to really team up and move the needle forward in a very robust way, whereby, of course, the national governments then have a role more when it comes to policies, when it comes to preparing the necessary legislation, and of course helping with the financing. But you cannot do the implementation, as we have really realized, without the local actors. So now the SDG localization has been globally recognized also by the entire UN system, under the leadership of our Deputy Secretary General Amina Mohammed, as an accelerator, as a driver of action and a driver of faster implementation of all the 17 SDGs.
Thank you. Well, just a follow-up question on actually the same that you've actually mentioned, and that is maybe on monitoring and accountability, because you've mentioned and talked about some of the challenges actually that you guys have faced, but perhaps someone would wish to ask on maybe the institutional frameworks that have actually been established to monitor maybe the progress of SDGs, if any, maybe one or two.
Absolutely, and it brings us back to data, to credible data, and of course to reporting and then monitoring those important developments. And at UN Habitat, we have been really paying a lot of attention to the data-related work and also to creating alliances where we are teaming up with other important actors to not only to have sufficient data available on the various aspects of our work, but then also to be able to disaggregate the data appropriately and to draw on the basis of the data some important lessons, recommendations that we are obviously providing to the national governments or to other levels of government or other players in this important context. And this is what we do best, policy, advising on viable, sustainable, inclusive policies that need to be designed on the various levels of government in order to ensure that indeed we stay the course. And we have, for example, helped specifically in many African countries organize what we call national urban fora, where we bring together with the governments all the various stakeholders that are relevant in a given country for an important conversation on urban planning, on urban policies, on sustainable urban future, and what exactly it entails. Of course, there is no one size fits all. Many of the issues would be slightly different in Kenya compared to Ethiopia or South Africa or Senegal, Ghana, or other countries where we work. But it's been a particularly relevant and much appreciated platform that we have been able to develop. And very importantly also, for the first time ever, this September, we teamed up with the African Union Commission and Ethiopia as a host, and we organized for the first time in Addis Ababa the African Continental Urban Forum, which was super transformational, I would say, super relevant and focused, well attended by ministers of urbanization or housing from all 54 member states of the African Union. So as you can see, we are really trying to shape up and influence those practical policies and equip the decision makers, the policy makers, with the necessary tools, knowledge, and also data for them to be able to take good forward-looking decisions for the future of their countries. And when I'm talking about the future, obviously, at the center of the policy recommendations and the practical solutions that we are working on is the youth as the driver of those important changes, and of course as our future, and also as a strong component of the population, because as we know, we have at least 60% of the population, let's say in Africa, under the age of 25.
We'll get to talk about that specifically on how